G'day, it's Pete here, and I'm here for a featured lesson on interpreting your partner's lead. So there's lots of information about what you can work out from partner's lead. And I'll just go through some of the things that you have to do. But for starters, the main thing you need to know is you need to know all of your lead agreements. You have to understand what would you lead from this holding and this holding and this holding. And you don't want to like chop and change and go, oh, maybe I should lead it this time or that time, because that makes your partner's job of interpreting your lead a lot tougher. So let's go in and just look at some of the different possible holdings and discuss what I like to lead from those holdings. Now, different people can have different agreements, that's fine, but you need to understand what you're going to lead from each of these different sorts of holdings. So we'll get into it and discuss some of them. Alright, so I've just got a hand up here, there's lots of cards, but let's just look at some of the suit holdings. So start off with the easy ones. So if you look at this East hand, if you've got an Ace-King, Ace-Kings are fantastic leads, and especially against suit contracts. Even against no trumps you can strongly consider leading them. But Ace-King and some people might lead the Ace or the King from certain of them. I tend just to overlead, so from any sequence I am happy to overlead. So Ace-King's the only 2-card true sequence, and it's fantastic. So from Ace-King I like to lead Ace. If instead you have King, Queen, Jack, I like to lead the King. So top of a sequence, most people lead that. That being said, some people do underlead or do something like that. That's okay, but you need to know what your agreements are. So first of all, discuss with your partner from an Ace-King, what do you lead? Do you lead the Ace? Do you lead the King? Can you lead either of them? If so, does that give a different signal? Things like that. I tend just to overlead. Alright, what else? The other ones we want to look at is, what do you lead from 3 to an honor? If you've only got 3 cards to an honor, such as this Queen third or this Jack third, which of the cards do you lead? So whether it's suit contract or no trumps, I like to lead low from an honor. So here I'll lead the 3 of hearts or the 3 of diamonds in both of these cases. For me, Jack is perfectly fine. I still count that as an honor. So for me, the Jack's an honor, the 10, not so much. There are a few different cases where I'll highlight where I treat a 10 slightly differently, but in most cases lead low from an honor of Jack or higher. What about 3 little cards? So if we look at the West hand, and they got 3 clubs to the 9, what would you lead if you were going to lead from this suit? Now, a couple of common agreements are top of nothing, so some people might lead the 9, that's fine. Another common agreement is middle up down, so you'd start with the 6, then play the 9 on the second round, and then play the 5 on the third round. So middle up down, another possible agreement for anything lower than the Jack. So if you looked at this North hand as well, they might lead the 8, follow with the 10, and then play the 2. So you need to know what you're going to be leading from 3 cards to an honor, or also 3 little cards. So discuss with your partner, do you lead top of nothing, or do you lead middle up down? There are other agreements, but they're the 2 most common ones. Okay. Next one is, what do you lead from 4 small or 5 small? So here, if you look at South's hearts, they've got 10, 9 to 5 hearts. Now, from 4 small or more, I like to lead the second highest, so I'd lead the 9 from this holding. Some people still like to lead top of nothing, but from 4 or more small cards, I like to lead my second highest. I'll give up another hand and talk a little bit more about some more of the options. So here's a new hand which we can look at. So still talking about 4 small or more. If you look at this North hand here, I'd lead the 6 from this one. If I was looking at diamonds, got 5 small diamonds, and I'd lead the second highest one, the 8. And this one actually highlights why I like to lead second highest rather than absolute top, which is sometimes 10s, 9s, even occasionally 8s can be useful and if you lead the 10, you lose. You sometimes waste that card. So that's why I like to lead second highest. Now, some of the times it would be completely irrelevant, like as in this heart suit where it was 7-6, or the previous one where it was 10-9. It doesn't matter if you use the highest or second highest, but some of the times you get holdings like this where you don't really want to waste the 10. So if you just have a constant agreement that you're going to be leading your second highest from 4 small or more, then it's easy for your partner to interpret that you will have one higher card if it's from length. Alright. If I was going to lead a spade here, I'd lead my 4th highest spade, so I'd lead the 5 of spades. So I've got an honor, so 4th highest from longest, strongest, or if you have an honor, lead your 4th highest card. So I'd lead the 5 here. If I was leading a club, I'd lead the 8 because there's no high cards. So if you're leading a low card, you're telling your partner you like the suit. High card, you don't, but there's also more information that can be gathered from that. What about if there's a bit of an odd lead, but let's say that North wanted to lead from the club suit. Which card would you lead from Queen Doubleton? So here, from a Doubleton, I like to lead top of a Doubleton, even if it's an honor. So usually when you lead an honor card, partner is thinking top of a sequence, and this will be the case 99% of the time. Occasionally, you do want to lead from a Doubleton, and even if it's got an honor, you want to lead the high one. So you want to lead the Queen from Queen Doubleton here. Similarly, 10 double, 10-8 Doubleton, I'd lead the 10 from those. So here we're just sort of clearing up all our lead agreements. These are the cards that you want to lead from. You don't want to chop and change your agreements just on things, because otherwise it's really hard for your partner to interpret it. If South was going to lead a diamond, I'd lead a low diamond. Doesn't matter that I've got King, Jack, small, it's still fine to lead a low. And bring up a new hand and discuss. Just a final one that I was going to discuss is something called interior sequences. Not too many people know, but if you're looking at this heart suit, what heart would you lead from the north hand? Okay, so King, Jack, 10, 9. So you've got honors. Some people might lead the 4th highest. You don't want to lead the king. You've got a sequence in hearts, but you still don't want to lead the top card. What you want to do is lead the top of the sequence. So King, Jack, 10, 9. The sequence starts at the Jack. So you want to lead the Jack here. And this is an interior sequence. So you have a sequence. It's not the top of, it's not your highest card, but you want to lead the top card of the sequence. So from here, King, Jack, 10, 9, I'd lead the Jack. If you had King, 10, 9, I'd lead the 10. Now, an interior sequence, for me, interior sequences stop with the 10. So if I had King, 9, 8, 7, I wouldn't lead the 9. So if I'm leading top of a sequence, normal sequences for me stop at the Jack. So Jack, 10, 9, I'd lead the Jack. But 10, 9, 8 or things like that I treat as small cards, and I'd lead my middle up down or my second highest from 4 small. If I lead the 9, my partner knows I've got the 10 and things like that. But if I'm leading an interior sequence, so I haven't higher cards, so here King, Jack, 10, 9, I'll lead top of the interior sequence, and for those I do count 10s as a sequence. So King, Jack, 10, I'd lead the Jack. King, 10, 9, I'd lead the 10. So interior sequences are fine to lead. You don't need to lead the 4th highest 9 of hearts here. Okay, so these are most of my agreements. It's important to go through all these sequences with your partner. Make sure you're on the same wavelength and that you'll actually lead the same card from those different holdings. Alright, so now that we've got some lead agreements, we'll move in and look at how we can actually use some of this information. Okay, bring up a new hand. Alright, so what I want to do here is put partner on lead, and after they've made a lead, we want to work out A, what was that lead from, and B, what style of defense are they going to use? Are they going to be an aggressive lead or is it a passive lead? What's that tell us about your partner's hand, and go from there. Also, you can work out things about their overall hand sometimes. So why would they choose this sort of lead? If you know they've made an aggressive lead, why have they done that? What information do we have? And also we can think about what other lead choices would they have had. Okay, so we'll just get in and we'll get partner to be on lead. Okay, so the opponents have an auction of 2 no trumps plus 3 clubs Stayman, 3 diamonds, no major, 3 no trumps. Okay, and partner leads the 3. Okay, so first of all we want to try and work out what possible holdings is partner leading from. Okay, so they led the 3 of hearts. So first of all, there's obviously a low card. Now, we can use the bidding to help us try and identify what different possibilities there are. So, East had 4 hearts, we've got 2. The bidding said West doesn't have 4 hearts, okay? So we know that our partner's actually leading from at least 4 card heart suit, okay? Because West can't have 4. So this is a 4th highest card. Can it be from a 5 card suit, okay? So if you're trying to work this out, can it be from a 5 card suit? Well, no, it can't. Partner led their 4th highest card, and it was a 3. If partner had any lower cards, so if they had 5 cards, they would still lead their 4th highest, which would mean that they would have to have a lower card, but we have the 2. Okay, so partner can't have any cards lower than that, so the 4th highest card is their 4th best. They're leading from a 4 card suit here. So straight away we can interpret from our partner's lead that they have 4, East has 4, we have 2, and West has 3. So it's very important not just to think of how low a card, like partner's led a 3, they like the suit. It's important to see which lower ones there are, and we have all the lower ones. So we know that partner's led from precisely a 4 card suit. Okay. What does this mean about their sort of overall hand? Okay, so firstly, do you think partner's got a 5 card suit anywhere else? Well, no, they probably don't, because they've led 4th highest from their longest and strongest. This is a common lead people make. If someone had a longer suit, a 5 card suit, they would prefer that. So partner has led a 4 card suit, which means that they basically won't have a 5 card suit. So now we can narrow down partner's hand shape a lot. We know that they've only got a 4 card heart suit, which means they won't have a 5 card suit anywhere else, so that there'll be there's 3 possible hand shapes for them: 4 triple 3, 4 4 3 2, or triple 4 1. They're the only 3 hand shapes partner can actually have. Okay, because if they had a 5 card suit, they probably would have led it, and here we know they've led from a 4 card suit, so now we can narrow that sort of things down. We also know that partner has an honor in hearts, so they have either the ace, the queen, or the jack. Because it's no trumps, they can be underleading an ace. Against suit contracts, if it was a suit contract, we would know that they've got either the queen or the jack, not the ace. Okay. Can partner have a sequence anywhere? Okay. People really like leading sequences, and when your partner chooses not to lead a sequence, it means that they generally won't have one. So we know that your partner won't have like king, queen, 10 of diamonds, or ace, king to whatever in spades. We've got all these cards that are sort of blocking sequences, but whenever partner, you know, doesn't lead a sequence, you can sort of place some of the missing cards pretty well to know that partner won't have a sequence here. Such that if we didn't have the 10 of hearts, say we only had a small card, we would know that partner doesn't have queen, jack, 10, 3 of hearts, because that would be a sequence and they would be leading top of the sequence. Now, because we have the 10, that sort of ruins it anyway, but there are things where if partner doesn't lead a sequence, we know that they probably don't have one. Okay. So there's just lots of bits of information that you can go through and work out. So first step, know your lead agreements. Second step, try and interpret what partner's lead has been from. A, from the card they've led. B, from the bidding, what information can you gather? And finally, you can also work out from what declarer plays, what sort of holdings they might have. Sometimes declarer will play a specific card, which will let you know more, but not in this case. Anyway, we'll open it up and show you how all this information fits together. So here, partner led fourth highest from a heart suit. They just tried a major. They did have another club suit, which was, you know, better, but they preferred a major. So fourth highest from longest and strongest. They are pretty equalish suits, so they chose one of them. They didn't have a sequence anywhere. They don't have a 5-card suit anywhere. These bits of information really hold up pretty well. So you need to understand what your partner's led from, what haven't they led from as well. Anyway, let's move on to another hand and see what else we can work out. Okay, so we'll just pass, see where they end up. Okay, so the bidding went 1 diamond by east, 1 spade by west, 2 diamonds by east, 3 clubs by west, 3 hearts by east, 3 no trump. Okay, and partner chooses to lead a club. Alright, so this time they've led one of the opponent's suits, but the opponents did bid every suit, so it was bound to happen. So the bidding, sometimes you can tell that partners just led from the unbid suit, but this is not the case here. They've just led one from one of their secondary suits. Okay, so let's try and work out what has partner led from. Okay, so they've led a 5, generally looks like a small card. So they probably won't be leading from a 3-card suit into one of West's hands. So I would say that your partner has led from a 4th highest card. Okay, so the next thing I like to do is look at what smaller cards are there. So there's the 5, we can see the 4, we've got the 3, but the 2's missing. So we don't know if partner's led from a 4-card suit or a 5-card suit, but we know it's one of those two things. And it's key to look at these smaller cards here and work out what sort of length partners actually led from. Okay. Next thing we want to know is partner hasn't led a sequence, so they don't have Jack 10 9 of clubs, they don't have King Jack 10 of clubs. Those sorts of holdings they might lead from their sequence, their interior sequence, or top of a sequence. So they don't have one of them in clubs. So we can start placing some of the club honours with the West hand. So we know that my partner doesn't have Jack 10 9, so we know that the West hand has one of the Jack, the 10, or the 9. We also know that our partner probably doesn't have King Jack 10, because otherwise they might have led an interior sequence. So we also know that West has one of the King, the Jack, or the 10. So you can do things like that to try and work out where those missing cards are. Okay. Again, you can look at other suits. What other suits would they have to choose from? Well, they probably wouldn't lead a diamond regardless, because East bid and rebid diamonds. But they don't have really good spades, because even though West bid it once, they only promised 4 of them, and they had bid clubs. So if our partner had really good spades, they might have led them as well. So if our partner had 4 or maybe 5 spades, they can't have 5 spades, but if our partner had 4 spades, they might have considered leading one of them. But they chose a club over that instead. So their clubs are better than their spades. You can also check to see if there's any sequences that partner had a choice to lead from. And here, there's enough cards that make it a bit awkward that partner probably doesn't actually have a sequence. Okay, so let's open it up and see what sort of information we gathered and how useful it was. Okay, so here are all the cards. Partner led a 4th highest club, And notice that West has king and 9, so partner doesn't have a sequence in clubs. We'd also be keeping an eye out for when we did see the 2 of clubs. So some things that might happen is it might go like this, and after this, so small club, we put on the queen. Sometimes the West will duck it and they might play the 2 or something like that. If they do that, you know straight away how long your partner's suit was. Whereas if like our queen won and we saw the 6 of clubs instead, then we would know that our partner probably had a 5-card suit. When they win, we don't have quite as much information about how long our partner's suit was, but it's important to keep an eye out that if your partner leads and you're trying to work out how long their suit was, keep an eye out for those smaller cards. They're really quite useful for working out where they are. Notice partner doesn't have good spades. In fact, West has really good spades. They have extra spades here. And partner doesn't have a sequence anywhere as well. Anyway, there's some of the things that we could gather from that one. So let's try again and see what else we can work out. Okay. Okay, so here's the auction. 2 clubs game force, 2 diamonds waiting, 2 spades, I have an unbalanced hand with spades, 3 clubs, the robots just play this as like a real negative hand so they don't have anything, 3 no trumps, 4 spades, I've actually got a spade fit for you. Okay, so here our partner leads the 3 of hearts. Okay. So what information can we gather from this? Okay, so our partner's leading unbid suit. Again, they've led low, so they've probably got a honor in hearts. Now they haven't led a passive. So here, when your partner's playing against a suit contract and they lead low from an honor, it means that they've taken a more of an aggressive lead rather than a passive lead. Okay, so it really sort of alters how you think they're trying to defend the hand. Anyway, 3 of hearts lead, and East had the Jack 10 and 6. Okay, so first of all, few bits of information. Our partners led low, and if we look at the bidding, West had a chance to bid 3 hearts. So if West had 5 spades and 4 hearts, they could have bid 3 hearts. So straight away, we know our partner's leading from length here. Okay? Because West won't have 4 hearts, East doesn't have 4, I don't have 4, so our partner has at least 4 hearts. Okay? And again, if we look at the lower cards, there's only 1 below it, so our partner might have 5 hearts if they've got the 2, or only 4 hearts if West has the 2. So keeping an eye out for those smaller cards is really valuable. Okay, now this is against a suit contract, so we know that West has the ace of hearts because our partner doesn't underlead aces against suit contracts. So we can place West with the ace of hearts. Now against suit contracts, I didn't talk about this in knowing your lead agreements, but for me, if I have something like King, Queen, small, small, okay? So I've got 2 cards to a sequence, but it's not a proper sequence. Against a suit contract, I'll actually lead top from a 2-card sequence, whereas against no trumps, I'll lead low. And the whole principle of this is that in a suit contract, the first couple of rounds of the suit are really important, because after that, the suit often gets trumped, so trying to get your tricks early in a suit contract is more important. So from King, Queen, small, small, I'll tend to lead the king against a suit contract, whereas in no trumps, you don't mind if you get your tricks at the start, as soon as the suit was played, or at the end of when the suit's played, as long as you get the tricks you deserve. So from King, Queen, small, small against a suit contract, I would tend to lead the king. Now that's really up to partnership agreement, but if you think about this, we now know that partner doesn't have King, Queen of hearts and West has the ace, so partner's only got 1 honor. So West has the ace king or the ace queen, but we don't know what else. Now, the other thing is trying to work out from Declarer's line of play. So if West had ace king of hearts, like ace king third heart, and there's the jack 10 there, what heart would they actually play from here? They wouldn't play a low card. So if West had ace king small, right, then they would put up the jack because they now know that they have no losers in hearts. When they don't put up the jack or 10, we know that they don't have ace king small heart. Okay. Anyway, let's play the 9 and see what happens. Okay. So let's stop and think a little bit more about what the layout on the heart suit is. Okay. So our partner led the 3 from either a 4 or a 5 card suit because there's only one lower than it. We know that they have an honor in the suit because if they didn't, they would have led a higher card. And we know that West doesn't have ace king small heart because if they had ace king small, they would have put up the jack or 10. Right? So what about if they had ace queen small heart? Well, they wouldn't be winning the ace, would they? So small, small, ace. This means they don't have the queen. If they had the queen, they'd definitely be winning the queen there rather than putting the ace on it. So now we know our partner does have the queen. And we knew that partner wouldn't lead low from king queen. So we know that West has the king of hearts. So they have the ace of hearts, the king of hearts. Now why didn't they put up the jack? Well, now we know that they didn't put up the jack because they've only got 2 of them. If they had ace, the king, and a small heart, they would put up the jack. They didn't do that, so we know that they've got ace, king, doubleton. Okay, if they had this sort of thing, takes a bit of practice working your way through it, but you can find out lots and lots of information about how people play the suit, what's going on, and things like that. So let's open it up and check how we can see all this. So yeah, partner's got a 5 card heart suit, so they got the 2 as well. West only had ace king doubleton, and we could work all this out just from how they played the suit. If they had any other combinations of the card, the way they played this would be really, really strange and doesn't make sense. So you can infer really well what's going on in the suit. Okay. Bring up a new hand. Okay, so the robots get to 4 spades. 1 spade, 5 plus spades, 3 spades, 4 card limit raise, 4 spades, pass, pass, pass. And our partner leads a low club. Alright, so what do we think's going on here? So let's think, what possible options does our partner have? Okay, so our partner's led a low club. Now there's no lower ones than this, so there's only 2 possible options. First of all, where is the ace of clubs? The ace of clubs is in the West hand because against a suit contract our partner's not underleading the ace. Okay, so we know that our partner West has the ace of clubs. So there's only 2 holdings that our partner could be leading from here. They could either be leading from 3 to an honor, and there is 1 honor missing, which is the jack. So that would give them jack, 9, and a small club. The other holding that they would lead from is a singleton. Now notice that they can't have a doubleton club or anything else like that. So they could either have 3 to the jack, or they could have a singleton club. Okay, so let's look at what other options there are. So firstly, our partner leading from 3 to the jack is a possible lead. It's not hugely, it's not as common as leading a singleton. So if you had to guess which one partner had, I'd probably say that they're more likely to be leading from a singleton then from 3 to the jack. The next thing that we know is partner doesn't have a sequence anywhere. Now the only sequences they could really have are ace kings. So they don't have the ace king of hearts, they don't have the ace king of diamonds. So we know that West has at least one of those cards in both hearts and diamonds. Okay. Now in the club suit we can try and find out which one a partner's got by putting in the 10. So we know that West has the ace, and if we put in the 10, okay, as soon as that happens, we've now narrowed down our options and we can interpret our partner's lead really well. Okay, we knew that West has the ace, our partner doesn't have the jack anymore, so that is a singleton club, and we've been able to narrow it down a bit more. So what does that tell us about the hand? Well, firstly, when partner leads a singleton, they usually don't have long trumps or trump tricks. So they won't have 4 trumps, but we can already tell that by the dummy. Also, they probably don't have trump tricks like queen third spade or things like that. Again, we know that they don't have queen third, but they probably don't have spade tricks like queen doubleton spade. It is possible, but not as likely. So you can draw inferences from that lead. They've led a singleton. When you lead a singleton, you usually don't have natural trump tricks, so partner probably doesn't have any good spade cards. We also know that they don't have an ace king anywhere, because ace kings are fantastic leads. So partner doesn't have the ace king of hearts, doesn't have the ace king of diamonds. Okay, so let's open it up and see what we can see. Okay, no spade tricks, no ace king in either of the suits. Declarer had all that, and the main thing here was in finding out what the opening lead actually was from. By putting in the 10, we get to find out whether it was from a singleton or whether it was from jack third. Now, doing this sort of play isn't always that common. I very often like to put in the queen, because when you play the 10, while you get to work out what's going on in the suit, it makes it very tricky for your partner to interpret. So you want to be cautious doing these plays, but you can do them from time to time. All right. Okay, so here partner led the 6 of spades. What can we interpret from this one? Okay, so it's from a suit against a suit contract. 6 is pretty tricky to read. So first of all, what sort of holdings can they have? So West bid 1 heart and then 4 hearts. So West likes hearts. There's actually lots of holdings partner could be from. They could have low from an honor. So let's see what missing cards there are. So the 8's there, the 7's there. So the missing ones are the ace, queen, 9, 6, 5 and 4. Okay, so a couple of lower ones after that. So if the 6 is low from an honor, it means partner's got precisely 3 spades, and the only holding they can have is queen, 9, 6. Okay, partner doesn't have the ace of spades because it's a suit contract. West has that, and that's the only possible holding partner could have low from an honor for, queen, 9, 6. Because if they had a 4-card suit, they would be leading a lower card again. So that's the only low from an honor. Other holdings they could have, top of a doubleton, okay, so 6 from 6-5, 6-4. The other option we could have is middle up down. So if they were leading their middle card, going to follow it with a higher card and then play a lower card, then we'd know that's the case. They can't really have a singleton spade. If they had a singleton spade, that would be 1 spade with north, 2 with east, 4 with thus, and 6 with west. So if West has 6 card spade suit, it means that they have 7 hearts. So that would give West 6, 7 void void, which doesn't really seem too likely. If partner was leading top of a doubleton, that would give West 5 spades, and they bid hearts first, so that would give West 5 spades and 6 hearts. Possible, but not too likely. So it looks like partners led from either 3 or 4 cards. I forgot to mention they could be leading second highest from 4 small. So 6 from 9, 6, 5, 4. That's the other option. So they probably either led middle up down, low from an honor, or second highest from 4 small. Okay. Now we know West has the ace of spades. What about the other suits? What do we know? Well, partner didn't lead a singleton diamond. Okay, so one of two things. Either they don't have a singleton diamond, is one of them, which means that West will have a singleton or void. Or otherwise, if they do have a singleton diamond, then they'll have some heart tricks as well, because that would be a reason not to lead that. Anyway, with these ones we can find out a little bit more information. Okay. Okay, so partners followed low and then high. So firstly, if you play second highest from 4 small, when you lead your second highest, you don't follow with your highest, you just follow with a low card later. So when partner did that, it looks like middle up down. Okay, now it could have been from Queen 9-6, but we've now seen the Queen as well, so we know that our partner led some passive lead from 3 spades. They led middle up down rather than an aggressive lead. Okay, so what this means is they don't think that Declarer is going to draw trumps and just run diamonds. Maybe they've got the singleton diamond, but that would give them a heart trick. Possibly 2 diamonds, but they don't have 3 diamonds. If your partner had 3 diamonds here, they would know that Declarer's side suit is going to be breaking really well, and they'll be in a rush to get some tricks. So it's very unlikely that West has a void diamond. Anyway, we'll open it up and see what we know. Okay, so partner did lead middle up down. It was Declarer with the singleton diamond rather than partner. And partner does have a heart trick anyway. So if they had a singleton diamond, they probably wouldn't be leading it anyway. But if partner had 3 small diamonds, it would look like East's suit was going to be breaking really well. So they'll be trying to get aggressive club lead in, or leading away from honors more so than a passive lead. So there's some things that you can work out. Anyway, we'll do one more hand like this, but there's the general things that you can work out. So the keys here are, first of all, know your lead agreements. It's very important to know that. Secondly, work out which of the possible options could partner have led from, and then try and narrow it down as the play goes. And to do that, you need to look at what littler cards there are, what higher cards there are, and think of a couple of different options of what partner has led from. And then finally, you want to work out what do you know about the rest of the hand or the opponent's hands if you know they've led from that. Okay, so we'll do one more example of that, and then we'll stop. Okay, whoops. Meant to bid a spade, but accidentally passed. Okay. So, partner leads the 10 of clubs. What does this mean? Okay, so what sort of holdings would lead the 10 of clubs? So, if partner had sort of 10 small, 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 they'd be leading second highest from 4 small. If they had only 3 cards, they might be leading middle up down, and neither of them makes sense with the 10. So because the 10's the highest small card, it means that they've led 10 from 10, 9, 8, which some people might lead the 9 from, depends on your partnership agreement, or otherwise partners led from an interior sequence. So Ace 10, 9 would lead the 10, King 10, 9, but we have the King, Queen 10, 9, all of these can lead the 10. Okay, so when partner leads the 10 like this, it's either from a shortage, so top of a doubleton, so 10 and a small one, or from an interior sequence, so Ace 10, 9 or Queen 10, 9 in this case. We don't know how long partner's suit is, but we do know that they've got an interior sequence or from a shortage. So first of all, if partner's got an honor here, we don't actually need to put up our king. If partner had led from a short club, declarer probably would have put the jack on it if it was top of a doubleton. So partner probably led from an interior sequence. So in this case, we can play low and force the 10. So it's really important to think what possible holdings there are, and then when you do that, you can make plays like this where you don't need to put the highest card up, and it's a lot easier to work out where the missing cards are. Anyway, we'll open it up and wrap it up there. So here, partner did lead from Queen 10, 9, fourth. We didn't know how long their suit was. When the 10 won, it's very likely that it was from Queen 10, 9, because it's very tough for West to hold up the Queen there, but holding up an ace is a lot easier. So you could guess that the ace was there. Anyway, that's going to be it from me on interpreting your partner's lead. Just a quick recap of some of the things you can do. Know your lead agreements. Secondly, work out when your partner plays a specific card, which of those lead agreements can it be from? You can think, have they led an aggressive lead or maybe a passive lead? This happens more against suit contracts when passive leads come up more, but you can still do the same against no trumps. Also, you want to work out what does this mean about the rest of their hand. They generally won't have a sequence elsewhere if they don't lead a sequence. If they didn't lead an ace king, they don't have an ace king. These sorts of things come up. What does it mean about declarer's hand? And what do we know about where all the missing cards are for declarer? And finally, what other choices of leads do they have? On the first hand, we knew partner led from a 4-card suit. This means they won't have a 5-card suit elsewhere, and you can narrow down their hand range and work out other things about the other hands. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this lesson on interpreting your partner's lead, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.